Today, we're going to take a break from commentary and just do a bit of gameplay talking about a very special lineup I like to play when I'm in a bit of a stagnant place in War Thunder. This is definitely not a video that was supposed to be about the new update's content but was changed last minute because Gaijin didn't drop the update this week. I promise this video was planned and the content was deliberate. /S. But I'm finally very happy to announce that the Discord server is finally open. So if you want to hop on the server with like-minded fellas and or just shoot the shit in general, the link will be in the description and on a community post I will upload after this video goes up. Today, we're just gonna talk about how I make my lineups for each nation and what the significance is behind them. But of course, we're gonna talk about my favorite lineup currently, my Yes Sir Oorah lineup. Originally named USMC, I renamed it to Yes Sir Oorah because I can't stop laughing when I think of that stupid gif. As you can see, the lineup is comprised of marine vehicles and Navy aircraft. You got the LAV AD as SPAA, the Vipers, the helicopter, the A7E as Strike Fighter, and the M1A1HC, M1A1, and M60A1 Rice P as the MBTs. Yeah, the Rice P is a bit out of place at this battle rating, but it's really one of the few USMC tanks that I could actually do something in this lineup. I also understand that I could get the M1A1 AIM and add that in, but as a squadron vehicle, I'm really not inclined to go for it. Although, the new Israeli squadron vehicle, the Magak 6B Gal coming in La Royale, kinda got me acting strange. Hey, I grinded out all the Magaks, I'll be damned if I won't get the 6B Gal and the 6B Hydra. But anyway, if War Thunder picks up the pace and adds the LAV 25 or the LAV AT, I'd actually put that in rather than the Rice P, but until then, the M60A1 is staying. Hey, that thing killed a T-80U once, I'm not gonna knock it. Perhaps I'll also replace the A7E with the F-14B when that drops, and then replace the F-14B with the AV-8B Plus Harrier 2 when that drops. I like this lineup because they're just neat alternatives to the US meta of top tier, with the M1A2, M1A2 SEP, M1A1HC, ADATS, Apache, and F-16. Personally love the H-1Z because I loved Battlefield 3 and Battlefield 4 my entire life, and the A7E's walleyes are very funky guided bombs. Though I don't use the A7E or H1Z at the moment because of the P word that can dork you from 20 kilometers away, I mostly run the Abrams and the LAVAD and the M60 if I absolutely have to. This is one of the few lineups that also deviate from my theme for the US tech tree of commanders of that time period. For example, my Patton lineup is usually going back and forth between 3.7 Shermans to 5.3 Jumbos. Arnold is for Henry Hap Arnold, which would make that my Air RB lineup for props. Not necessarily World War II props only, as I put the Bearcat in sometimes if I want to play that. NATO Wave is basically just 80s American tanks that fit the whole vibe. Of course, I will have to put in the M60A3 TTS when I will get around to grinding that thing's darts, but at the moment, I think the lineup's fine. Of course, when something like the Avenger SPAA comes out, the LAVAD will be replaced by it. Joint Chiefs is how I can work with the US metal lineup at top tier. M1A2, M1A2 SEP, F-16, H-1Z, which I will replace with the H-64D when I get around to grinding it, the ADATS, and the M1A1HC. Among other nations, there are certain lineups that I made just for the hell of it. One of them is the Taiwan lineup in the Chinese tech tree, which mates the F-16A MLU and F-5A with the CM-11 and M60A3 TTS. It's pure insanity playing it, and it's more of a lineup you play around in rather than, taking it seriously. So if they add the M1A2T for Taiwan, that'll be another story indeed. Like in the USSR tree, I've got a Soviet gold lineup that's just filled with all premiums that I did not pay for at all. These are all either event rewards, something I got off the Warbond shop, or any other method that would give you a premium vehicle. The BM13N is the most special because it's that vehicle and the M3 Lenin that I got off the actual events as they happen. Man, I really miss a time there were fun events for War Thunder. The BM13N1 asked you to kill something like 5 tanks in one match with the BMA-24 tank. It was so fun doing the entire thing that the difficulty of actually achieving it was secondary. The M3 Lenin one was trying to tow a Flak Panzer 38 Gepard to your cap point and then draining the enemy's tickets, and that one was really so fun. War Thunder Tug of War was fun, that I could assure you. The Matilda F96, which I got off the 2017 summer event, was also fun because it upguns the Matilda from the 2-pounder to the 76mm ZES-5 gun that the KV-1s get. Though it raises its BR from 3.3 to 2.7 and raises its gun depression as well to near nothing. Just a few drawbacks, but I love the gun so much on the Matilda chassis. Aside from those fun and esoteric tanks in the USSR tree, I also have some that I have personally been attached to ever since I got them. The Daewoo 18 D520 and DB7 in the British tree are some of my favorite nostalgia baits, as the D520 is one of the first premiums I ever purchased. The way I got it was actually funny because this was the early days of the gifting system in War Thunder, and when you bought it as a gift, you'd receive a code to redeem it that you would give to your friend for them to acquire it for their account. In my case, I accidentally redeemed it on my account, and as such, I have the D520 when it was still in the British tree. The DB7 I pulled during just one of the Warbond shop gotchas, but I've always wanted it since I saw Squire's video on it back in the good old days. No, playing the game for 8 years and over 5,200 hours spent in-game kinda throws into perspective how much the game has changed over the years. In 2016, the most surprising add-on to the game were ATGMs. But now we're expecting aircraft with track wall scan capability and air-to-ground radars. Italy is getting spikes, a fire and forget infrared ATGM. Aircraft are getting Pythons, and now we're getting aircraft with insane close air support capabilities with radar-guided missiles like the... No, not radar, laser-guided missiles like the Vickers on the Su-25T and Su-39. Remember your crew dying because you ran into a wall too fast? That was funny. The King Tiger spam, the Spitfire Mark 24, the Wyvern when it was new, Norway, Saipan, all of those made War Thunder so interesting back in the early days. No one really complained that the Allies didn't start with an airfield in Norway. The fighters just made sure the landing craft made it to the island. Who can forget the Bearcat and 1K2 duels over Saipan? The occasional J7W mixing it up. Remember when 8.0 was so unplayable because it was a 99% chance up tier to 9.0 facing the F2 Sabre, MiG-17 and Hunter that you really couldn't fight them? The Vampire was in that really awful spot until they lowered it to 7.3. So was the Meteor Mark III. When I first got it, it was 8.0. But since then they put it to 7.3 and it's now a fun plane to play at that BR. No, don't get me wrong, I still look forward to the future of War Thunder, especially with what's in store. All that stands in the way between War Thunder's stagnancy and what it could be is a good economy and better mechanics. Because if you see Gaijin's interview about Apex Predators recently, they aim to exceed up to Generation 5 of aircraft. So, we don't know when, we don't know how. But that's pretty much confirmation that stuff like the F-22, F-35, J-20 will make their debut at some point in War Thunder. Again, when that is, or how they'll do it, we don't know. But that's what they said. That's their plan. That's their vision. It's... The thing with Gaijin is that they never say no to anything, right? That means they might be reluctant to add it, but they'll see how they can add it. But look now, they're not reluctant anymore. They want to see 5th generation aircraft in game. Aside from that, What else are there for tanks? More nations. You know, what if a unified Korean tech tree that's been doing the rounds in the forums recently? Now we have the spike missiles. What about, something like javelins, right? There are vehicles fitted with a javelin. Like the warrior. The modern warriors got the javelin. The Perea missile carrier. The striker with a javelin. All that. There's so many things that you could generally put a javelin on that could be in the game. France still has the Vextra 105. We're still waiting for that, but we already have the VBC I-30 here. So there's really a lot of things we can still look forward to, and I look forward to it with optimism, especially when they promise to have a roadmap for economy by the 14th. All we need to do is just wait for them to drop that roadmap and judge how they're going to fix the game's economy. That's just one of the big hurdles to beat when it comes to War Thunder being a good game. The economy, the grind, the monetization, all of that is a mishmash that turns it into a big hurdle to make War Thunder fun. But it's not impossible to fix the game. It just takes a long time, takes a lot of patience, and takes a lot of cooperation from each of us. I would so much rather have the asymmetric New Guinea map over... I'm sorry, I segued, sorry. I got lost in the economics. But yeah, what I was trying to say is I would rather have the asymmetric New Guinea map where the Japanese had air spawn and you took off from the airfield over something like Air Battles France 1944 for 1,000,000 times in low tier props. Yes, I agree. It's for balance because some of the new allied aircraft can't climb, or the new Japanese aircraft are too fast, too powerful engines to give time for the allies to side climb. So that's the thing. It's just a personal thing. Don't listen to me as someone who's played those maps. It's just a personal thing that I'd like. I don't expect to see it. For jets, though, yeah, sure, EC maps are the way to go. I agree. But they gotta give strike fighters stuff to do in such game modes. There should be more bases to bomb, and there should be static ground targets to hit, other than waiting for convoys or front lines to pop up. Tanks are fine for the most part, since I really can't imagine ground RB game modes that aren't capture the point. I doubt Gaijin would give us something like a destroy enemy base game mode in ground RB, wherein something like the KV2 would excel in. I highly doubt it because it would be very complicated. Well, sorry I got a bit sentimental in the end there. I wouldn't be if Gaijin dropped the damn patch this week, but they still had to chuck in the Emile Bertin and the Mosso, so we had to wait a whole week for the patch to drop again. They did, however, announce more reworks to missiles, but I haven't got the faintest clue how they work in-game because the dev blog is so confusing. What I know is just that at longer ranges, laser missiles are way more awful, and for radar-guided missiles, the SACLOS ones, the proxy fuses will not activate until it hits the target that's being locked by the radar. But if you don't use your radar, it will be active all the time and it will get caught by the Vickers with a proxy fuse and all that. Which is fine, I agree. Either way, I can't believe I'm saying this again, and you can already use this as my fucking catchphrase. We'll find out when the update drops in this coming week. As usual, thank you for watching. And again, if you wish to join the Discord server just to talk to us, talk to me and my friends, just shoot the shit, discuss War Thunder with other people, link will be in the description. Thank you for watching as always. This is the Dr. MD. Godspeed.